everyone, Kane here, and in this one we're gonna talk about another one of the dual tower fights. This time I went against one of my subscribers and he wanted me to do a video about him, as well as, I guess, provide some tips that he could improve. So I'm about 2 million core above him or so, and of course I did lose the fight. I did beat about 60% of his field though. So first things first, our pet level difference is 5. However, he's from a lot newer servers, so I doubt that he's hiding his core power as it is. So dragons, I have 70 million HP with a dragon scale, aura blast, and tier 4 destruction, with others being tier 3 and tier 2. His dragon has a whopping of 100 million HP, which kind of puts a question whether or not he invested armory in dragon's HP, because he doesn't have a skin. And if he did, I would kind of suggest to swap majority of them, or more than half of them, towards dragon resistance. Do keep in mind it's capped, but still the dragon will be incredibly tanky to the point like no random stuff will actually be doing huge chunks of your dragon's damage, or rather health bar. Then in terms of abilities, he has Dragon Scale, Void Eater, Aura Blast, and Dragon Shadow, with all other abilities, or talents rather, tier 4. So in such a way, I don't think that the Black Dragon actually performs a very huge role, because it doesn't have the Graviton Surge or Eternal Void. So in such a case, I would kind of even think that a Azure Dragon with Noble Blood would be a lot better than Corrosive Scale. Sure, he will lose slight burst damage or burst side damage, but he would put physical resistance on his, I suppose, almost entire field or entire field, and also provide some healing. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts, because the scales, I don't think, have a very huge range in terms of the effect. In terms of frontline, I have tier 19 versus tier 18, close to 5 mil HP in this replay, and I have 97 and 98 resistances. He has 6 million HP skeletons, so if he had tier 19, those would be about 7.5-ish HP, which is a pretty friggin' huge amount, not gonna lie. And of course, he has the Covenant at Divine. So what does this mean is, if you have 6 million HP and you're facing a stall side with a couple of skeleton squads, you basically have to increase this value close to like more than double the amount, basically. So this stacks 5 times, 125%. Basically 6 million will turn into close to 13.5 to 14 million, give or take like some thousands. So this makes them pretty friggin' tanky, not gonna lie. In terms of stats, let's see. He has evade chance 98, has improved enemy crit rate reduction, and also crit hit resistance. Almost no healing received. Physical and magic resistance 92 and 93. So I think he overinvested in evade chance. I kind of would suggest for him to get more physical and magic resistance, because evade chance, if you're facing late game people, late game archers, majority of those archers have like friggin' 200 to 300% accuracy, and a few numbers after 200, and majority of the time the archers are gonna hit. Like, they would rarely miss. Or not that I've noticed with those things being on the army, or rather that you can see misses and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if it's pretty good to overinvest, but I have not really seen or known if anything happens if you have like 99% evade chance. So based on that, I don't think anybody tried, and I do think that the resistances would actually prove more worth, because I know quite a few people who've done that, and the front lines are incredibly tanky. So a few changes can be done on his front line. Now, I'm not sure on the Lich Mages because he's using Dire Ones. They do have a lot of attack, but it's Lich Warlocks, right? They're kind of garbage. The only thing they can do is kill the dragon, but then again, even with the armory effects, I don't think that you can actually kill the dragon rather quite fast anymore, at least. So yeah, if you would use them, I would kind of suggest Zen ones. They do area damage, and they also proc the area magic resistance reductions, rather than almost single targets. So a little bit more of an effect there. Now, in terms of heroes, so I've checked quite a few heroes. Some of the heroes might need a build swap in per se. He has, say, a Tiadrin with a build to do damage with abilities as well. So honestly, I would suggest to scrap the Judgment Seal, or rather scrap the Sacrifice, and max the Sacred Shield with potentially just making it even level 10. This is fine for potential that he has, as well as max the Divine Light, and then only put a few more points in Aura of Retribution. In terms of the potential, I kind of would think that you want to get this instead of this. This basically means that the heroes on the enemy side will have their magic resistance reduced, or melee heroes in particular, compared to majority of your heroes being saved from high amounts of damage. So your buffers would be getting shield based on the Tiadrin's HP, a couple of shields, and with this, I suppose you can combo it and get some resistances. Aside from that, there are some adjustments which I think could be made. I'm not sure on this Denji build, but majority of the time people use the Blood Moss Bite. They use Mountain Breaker on, I think, a couple of other gladiators, because he does have a decent amount of damage. He does have huge reach in his ultimate, so Blood Moss Bite can actually proc the percent damage on quite a lot of army units. His Rufio has a build to kill dragons. I suppose decent stuff. His Balrog is actually pretty good. He would just kind of require to swap this particular thing, because this causing enemies to take 10% bonus. So this particular item is mainly used in the burst side, and if you're using your Balrog in terms of the stall side, you want to have something such as, one moment, you want to have the Skull Crusher. Attacks have a chance to stun enemies. Not sure on how long the stun is. I'm not sure how long the reach is, but essentially if you stun something, if you deny their skill cast, ability cast, essentially you are adding up to the time that they would require to clear your stall side, as well as you, if you do manage to stun and then heal back during the stun and not die, essentially you can make them do damage or redo damage to kill you for another couple of seconds. So a little slight adjustment can have a pretty decent effect. And of course, he has like close to 100 million HP. Now, I've checked quite a few heroes. There are some nuances where he would require to swap, say, this basic set, like 20% damage to... One moment, where is she? To a dragon set which grants 40% damage. So even if he would not have it flawless, it still would kind of perform better since it's a flat damage increase. The same for, let's say, Valerie. I've noticed it before. He has this particular staff, but you would require a 20% damage staff instead. Mainly because you want to use this staff only for particular events like Pinnacle. If you have things like Floras, which already has this effect, and it only is in effect at the start of the battle. Meaning, if you use your first ability, that staff is null and voided. This set bonus is also null and voided after the first ability. After that, there are a few more item changes, equipment changes, and as well as artifact changes. So, long story short, he does have Valkyrie's banner on Varian and Mirror of Reality, I think, or Mirror of something else to copy the skeletons or whatever on Gavgar. So, to use an example, let's see, damage taken. So, I have my skeletons being, or rather tanking for quite a bit compared to his. The smallest amount tanked is 23 billion. Do keep in mind, he has high HP skeletons with the Covenant. So his skeletons don't have a lot of buffs, a lot of buffers. So I do believe that the Stradium Fari, in terms of the particular formation, would benefit these 4 skeletons more than it would benefit them with the Valkyrie's banner. Now, what you can do, so you can actually mess around with your burst side, make some space, and put a hero here for Valkyrie's banner to buff these 3 skeletons, or you can move Valkyrie's banner on Gavgar and buff them, or these 2 with the Valkyrie's banner and the Stradium Fari on these particular 4 skeletons. So, some people don't know, let's just quickly check before we get into the fight. Basically, when a Stradium accumulates 8 points, 1 point is every 2 seconds. Let's see, healing effect to raise from 20% to 40% of HP loss. No bonuses are applicable. So if you have a skeleton at 1 to 10%, right, this ability will literally just heal like straight up 40% HP or so, or like 35 or 30, which is a pretty friggin' huge thing. So if you're doing the damage and you're almost getting that skeleton to invincibility, or some of them, poof, that skeleton is like 50% HP. And it can happen quite often due to the fact that the amount of energy needed to accumulate that particular thing and this HP heal is halved. So you have from 8 seconds turned to 4. So do keep in mind that this particular thing is actually pretty friggin' powerful, and it does have magic damage mitigation, like 35% or so. So it's mainly for not having your skeletons exploded by mages, and it kind of helps out because the way that it happened in the fight is my mages literally went to town with the magic damage that I have. So we're facing burst versus stall. So let me just slow it down a little bit. Now, I thought previously that I had misplaced my, let's say, Rufio with Basric, but I do think I was trying it out a few fights there, and I didn't have the new artifact. Now, I'm lagging like crazy, I don't know why. So he's actually clearing my stall side a little bit quicker in terms of the damage on skeletons, and I'm only slowly picking up the damage. So, a huge mistake that happened here. He jumped with Rufio into the backline skeletons, which is a very, very bad thing. And then he spun. So, to talk more about it, his Rufio was somewhere here around the Avalon, right? He had range to jump on Arion, Taco Fury, and spin to my mages as well as Dragon back and forth, and likely kill a few of them. However, him jumping into the backline skeleton squad and keeping them tanking on the Rufio basically means that his Bursa will have to waste another like 20 seconds just to clear my other squad of stalkers. Now, in terms of his stall side, I managed to kill quite a lot of skeletons. However, the Balrog is still alive. I think he did kill one of the squads now, and he's almost finishing the second one. Third one and fourth one is almost dead. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So third one and fourth one is almost dead, and they're slowly starting to target the one that the Rufio was tanking in the backline. So in terms of his stall side, I almost break through it. However, these skeletons were starting to proc this shield again because they didn't touch it or have that shield. As you can see, those skeletons are literally not taking any damage whatsoever, and they're remaining at full HP. I do believe my Valerie died. My Avril is here, but I didn't have any abilities to cast anymore since I had to waste so much to even try and bypass that. And in the end, he actually kind of ran over my stall side with the amount of heroes that he had left. So the things that could be adjusted on both sides. So if I had Rufio closer, I could have jumped and spun into his DPS heroes, but my Rufio is level 65, so likely he would have died. His side, he had Rufio in range to spin into my burst side and likely kill one or two heroes there, and reducing like majority of the damage on the stall side. As well as he has a conch artifact on his stall side. This conch artifact proves a lot more useful in terms of the burst side. So quite a few adjustments that he would require to do, and likely I wouldn't even come close to beating his field. So I did a thumbs up, he did the heart, and essentially the battle was pretty much over. So yeah, quite a few adjustments, and again, like quite a few people, I would not be able to even sort of make it a close fight. Thing is, if I did have that, let's say, enough damage or enough power, I think it was these two squads that were left to beat them. Likely I could have turned and perhaps made it a little bit closer, but lack of damage, I guess lack of research, stuff like that, kind of made it impossible. So again, stats, mages literally do the most of it. My Valerie did almost nothing apparently. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Damage taken, again, skeletons due to resistances, and Astrarian fatigue healing. Now, I'm not sure why his Warmaker's main healed so little, but I guess the heal doesn't proc when they have a shield, or they were full HP and then they had a shield and stuff like. I'm not entirely sure, since Balrog survived an entire battle. Essentially, I would think a 5-star Warmaker's main should have like friggin' 2 to 3 billion healing done. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Do let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed it and if you learned something new. And if you did, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you wish to support me more than just watching my videos, I do have a Patreon page where you could support me and my journey, as well as I would be able to help you out a little bit more than just making videos. I'm very thankful for my first Patreon, Scott, as well as thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe out there.